Welcome to clickmyproject.com.
Our product title is Shield, a reliable network on chip router architecture for chip multiprocessor. Let me see our process abstract. In our process, we have designed routers in a 4x4 mesh topologies and the baseline architecture of NOC routers. The comprised the 5 input ports and we get the 5 output ports with each input ports comprised for the 3 virtual channels. The VCs means we have 3 VCs per the input ports for the purpose for the traditional architecture of routers in the mixed topologies. The routing computing the unit virtual channels allocations unit and the switch allocations switch and the unit of the responsible for the control signals generators within the router pipeline during the travels of the packet. The 5x5 crossbar the connecting the input ports of the routers, the 8 output ports of the facilities packet travels. We concentrate on the issue of the fault tolerance in the NOC routers. Fault tolerance of the link has been the previously to main out of the scope in our process. The routers we focus the pipeline and the responsible for the smooth flow packets through the routers. We present the reliable routers architecture, both hard and soft. The routing pipeline. The proposed reliable router architecture had fault tolerance methodology is based on the employing the techniques process and then we exporting the ideal cycle of existing the resource of bypassing fault resource. The hard fault tolerance methodology we have designed that in our process, the routing process, and then the unique ability of tolerance both hard and soft routing the pipeline using the some techniques for the spatial redundancy, the exploiting of use mean time failures for the silicon protection factor metrics, and then we show the shield of the 6 times more the labels baselines unprotected routers in the, at least the 1.5 times in the label process, and then we have comparing the shield has improved the 3 times in comparison to the baseline unprotected routers. Let me see our process flow diagram. In our process we have designed a first router source input 8-bit data. So we have designed the single router architecture. The router architecture is used to the store of the input data bits and to the main data bits using the clock signals. The router architecture is one of type of data storage and data control process. The router sections is used to maintain the signal energy level due to the long data transmission process. And then we go into the mesh topology based on NOC design. So the same the network concept the process common approach the reliable problem consists the sharing most of the network interface resource among the number of process cores. The network concept the architecture we have targeting the support multiple outstanding write transaction but only one pending read transactions. Our techniques is a promising solution of free and area efficient network concept realization and a range of operation conditions, and then we using the neighboring router process. So in this process the master and the slave process, the master memory block is used to retrieve the destination data for the router architecture and the analysis the destination selections level. Also the master process work is used to the select the output of the next node selection data. The single router architecture, the port wise the routing architecture level and check the master selections processing level. So and then we go into the switching the process. So switch means we have routing mesh connections. The circuit switch networks reverse the physical path before the transmitting the data packets, while the packet switch networks transmit the packet without reserving the entire path. The NOC architecture is the 4x4 mesh of the switching the resource over the placed, and then we have designed the 4x4 architectures. We have designed the 4x4 architectures apply the mesh topology connections between 4x4 NOC designs, And then the first we have inter and intra communication process. So we waiting the bit calculating the every router placement of the position of the forecast for processor. And then weight alteration, the weight calculation is mainly focused on the packet switching process. We have using the they switching the conditions or condition the interconnection the analyzes the data selection control level routing architectures. And then we go into the last for next neighbor routing estimation and final estimation routers. This is with the routing estimation process and the shortest path identifications. This all we are connecting the distance calculations. The distance calculations is the calculate the load distance route of the short path identification, the minimum distance levels to identify the shortest route between the source and destinations, the neighboring estimations process to mainly focus the destination process to stop the distance calculation for the neighbor estimate process. Let we see our process running procedure. In our process we have designed in the single router architecture. We have designed in the Xilinx 14.2, and now we going to the simulate our process. Just we have simulate the simulation process, and then main block we have to run. So and then just run for the simulate behavioral model. So automatically open the ICE simulator. We give the input for clock reset or write, whatever give the input, we give the input. At the same time we have mentioned the which selection line we get the output. I have explained to that the reset whatever the reset we have. First one we give the 1 and 0 is the reset, and the default we give the clock and address. This address line we choose which data is going to the routing process. I have choose the mention in the program 010. This selection lines from 000000110, and then third data bit. The third data bits it will be automatically going to the entire the process and in routing the process and get the story in the routing output of process. So which path we get the calculate and we get the output process. So this is mainly the select the process for the this is. At the same time I give the input for the d1 d1 d2 d3 d4. This is the input process. We get the output and the same which path calculations p0 to p8. Totally 9 switch process routing process. Just I'm going to give the input for the reset. Just you click the force constant. First of all you give the should give once is a must for the input reset value. After we go into the clock value. So force clock we go into the leading edge value is zeros and the trailing edge value is 1 and the period is 1000 ns nanosecond. After completed, and then default I have give the default programs the address for 010. So this is not necessary. So and then going to write the process. First we give the write process for zeros. So the automatic is gives and the default input process, and the fourth the same which is the selection line and get the which port is a 0000001 and 0100 This is the selection line for depend on the address. This address is defining for the this process. After going to the p0 to p8 the 9 routers, this process we get the which path we get the output result which we have stored the output process. And then now we going to give the process for that. So unsigned binary decimal for the same input for after give the all the input for that. Just you should run the process. And the same time we should the reset the 0 value to 0 after going to run. After the right pin also we give the input for 1. So all the input we give and the 4 times we give the clock pulse. The same time which port we determine we got the output for the we choose the 010. 010 means third input for that 00101101. This output going to input going to the path 0 p0 p1 and then p4 is the path and the get value for that output. After give the clock for 4 times. Just in zoom, we got the output for the third process. So this is a routing process for which we select the selection line of that same input going to the store the output process. The same paths for this line. Thank you watching our process.